it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get...
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken, I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back live here, and looks like everything is a go as we're getting set and ready for the big blocks here tonight. As you see, Rody Plotz there in at 196, trying to make his way around out there as we got them coming up here. We'll be getting checker flag here just in a moment. Sorry about those folks that were watching the 358s that we didn't quite get the last 3 laps, but we're going to get that straightened out here as things get situated out here on front. We've got Clay Christopherson joining in, Brandon Dittberg joining in, Chase Matsko out there in the number 26 machine, as Anthony Morano down there on the bottom side. Just waiting for the word that the session gets advanced. Hey, they Plotz down there working off the corner. Getting ready for the start here. Just a few more moments, and then I'm sure we'll be getting underway. Checker flag is waving. Anthony Morano, first one out to qualify. As we said, down there on the bottom side of the screen, you can see Bob DeGood. He's got pink. Alex Pomalu now has the pink as they come down there off of the section 1, or off of section 2. So Pomalu running, not Pomalu, Plotz running a great time. We're waiting to see how the times roll in here. Bob DeGood laying down a 16.20. Anthony Morano, John Morano laid down a 16.144. Anthony Morano with a 16.382. Matt Barber out front in that 16 machine with a 16.092 for that. As they roll down here off the corner. Anthony Morano there in second. Dean Reynolds there fourth. John Morano there fifth. As it stands right now. As times are coming in, waiting on other drivers to come in. There you see the 39, now the 21 of John Dubai. And there's the 75T of Trevor Garou. Mike Brewer working down that backstretch. Down here through turn 1 and 2. He's going to be sitting with a 16.121 for his time at the moment as he comes here out of turn 3 and 4. Brewer lays down a 15.947. I'm sorry, no, Bachman lays down the 15.947. Heat number 1 coming up. John Morano will start first, with Anthony Morano starting his outside. Mike Brewer third, Sam Bachman fourth. Trevor Garou there in fifth. Scott Riome there in sixth. Chase Matsko seventh. Stephen Bixler there in eighth. Brandon Dittmer there in ninth. Craig Christopherson there in 10th. That is your heat number 1. As drivers get set here, Papa Dukes there in front. Anthony Morano there in second. So the Morano team, or the Morano drivers, have that front row sealed up at the moment. Will it stay that way? As 007 of Sam Bachman is anxious to get rolling. Morano out there in front. Anthony Morano second, Sam Bachman third. Well, actually fourth, because Mike Brewer's third. Down there on the inside, and they come down there along the bottom edge of the racetrack through 3 and 4. Getting ready for the start. As they work here, pace car comes off. Loud pedal gets pressed, and they're down and away. Morano down here in the corner number 1. John Morano down there on the bottom side. Anthony Morano up there on the top side, up there towards that outside cushion. You got the 39 of Mike Brewer down there on the bottom side. Here comes Anthony rather, as he tries to get down there towards the bottom side. John Morano out front, up there in leading it as this point in time as he comes down there off the corner into the backstretch. John Morano out front. Here comes the 39 of Mike Brewer. Right there to his bumper as Anthony Morano's up there on the high side, way up against that outside wall. Sam Bachman down there on the inside now in that 007, looking underneath the 75T of Trevor Guru. Everybody's balanced 3 wide there as John Morano's out front. Here comes Anthony Morano now to his back bumper here as they come out up to Anthony Morano there in second, Mike Brewer there third. Well, that Regal Wraps machine of Bob Papadukes out there in front, be able to keep a hold of it. He's got 5 laps to do it. And we've got that 32 of Anthony Morano up there on the high side, the 390 of Mike Brewer down there on the inside. As Brewer now drops it down there. Here comes Morano back down there to the bottom side of the racetrack in that number 33. As Anthony's back there in third, battling hard as he can. Down here through 3 and 4, down here on the bottom side of the racetrack, John Morano, as he comes out of turn number 4. 3 laps to go for John Morano and company as they come down there through off of turn number 1 and 2. Anthony Morano now battling up there on the outside of Mike Brewer as Brewer's down there on the inside of the racetrack. John Morano's trying to hold on both lanes as they come here off of 3 and 4. 2 laps to go here for John Morano to finish out in front here to give himself the pole for that feature event. But Anthony Morano, he's going to battle it out up there on the high side. Here they come off of 3 and 4. 2 laps to go. Now 1 lap to go. And John Morano out front. Anthony Morano there in second as they come here 3 wide off the corner. There you see that 007 down there along the bottom side of the racetrack. Stan Bachman here as we got a battle between Anthony Morano and John Morano. And John Morano's down there on the inside. And Brewer's down there as well. Boy, what a finish there coming across the line here for heat number 1. If it's any case of how it's going to play out tonight, we're in for a show in the big blocks. All right. Results from heat number 1. It's going to be Anthony Morano getting the win out there in first. John Morano coming in second. Mike Brewer with a great run coming there in third. Trevor Guru there fourth. Sam Bachman fifth. Stephen Bixler there in sixth. Chase Matsko seventh. Scott Riome in eighth with Clay Christopherson in ninth with Brandon Dittmer finishing out your field in 10th. Your grid here for heat number 2. That's going to be Brody Plotz in first. Dean Reynolds there second. Matt Barber in third. Jeff Barker fourth. Dylan Kinsey there in fifth. Bob the Good rolling off in sixth. Brian Moore in seventh. John Dubai there in eighth with Alex Pomalu there in ninth. Dean Reynolds down there out on the outside for FTM. Down there on the inside is out 196 of Brody Plotz. Off of the corner they go. Down here in the corner number 1. Dean Reynolds getting a great start on the outside, getting the pull away a little bit. As Brody Plotz down there on the inside, falls back into second. Matt Barber here in third. Dylan Kinsey down there on the inside underneath of Matt Barber as they roll here out of fourth. Down across the stripe, and Matt Barber getting up there and getting into third as he now guides his way up there in the second, trying to give up there to Dean Reynolds. Matt Barber there in second. Dylan Kinsey now up to third as Jeff Barker's falling back a little bit. Here comes that 639, or I'm sorry, no. Oh boy, Brody Plotz, I'm sorry. He's the one falling back a little bit. That's Jeff Barker down there on the inside in that number 513. Come down that front straightaway down in the corner number 1. Matt Barber in second. He's got Dylan Kinsey coming up to him pretty quickly, though, along with Jeff Barker. 5 to go here in heat number 2. Brian Moore back here in 6th. Brody Plotz in 7th. John Dubai there in 9th now as Bob the Good comes coming down there along the bottom side of the racetrack, down here in the corner number 1 and 2. 4 laps to go for Dean Reynolds as he's out front. Matt Barber there second. Down here, Dylan Kinsey and Jeff Barker racing side by side as they run here through 3 and 4. Back out onto that front stretch they go. Down here in the corner number 1. The 513 of Jeff Barker now clinging into third place. But that 639 of Dylan Kinsey's not giving up yet as they roll down the backstretch. Down in the corner number 3, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey up there on the outside of the 397 of, of the 513 of Jeff Barker. They battle it out. Alex Pomerleau there in the 397 as he's there trying to figure out which lane will work for him. As they come down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Dean Reynolds out there in front. Matt Barber there in second. Jeff Barker here in third. Dylan Kinsey there fourth. They roll on down through here. Final lap. Here they come out of corner number 2. Who's it going to be? Dean Reynolds out front. Matt Barber there in second. Dylan Kinsey and Jeff Barker battling side by side as they come here off of 3 and 4. And it's going to be Jeff Barker in that 513 taking the third spot away. Waiting on the results to come in. All right, starting here in the consolation. Or I'm sorry, no, this is warm-up. Sorry about that. This is warm-ups. So we'll be back with racing here as soon as warm-ups are over. We'll go ahead and stay here for the 2 minutes and 30 seconds of warm-up just to see how these drivers are getting this track rolled in as these big blocks set here to rip around Eldora tonight. What a night of racing it's been so far here at Coast to Coast Racing Network as they come here out of turn number 1 on the corner number 2. Off the corner, there you see that 50 or 75T, Trevor Giroux. Mike Brewer being the quickest right now, with Dylan Kinsey there in second. Blake Thompson there third, John Morano fourth. So it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers kind of battle it out here. As you see, John Morano, he had a great run in his heat, along with Anthony Morano, who came out and won that heat against his father. As they head on down to corner number 3 and 4. We get through this feature, then it's on to the Pro Late Models. And if you're at Figure Farm TV watching this, go over to Coast Racing Network to catch the full show. Which unfortunately tonight is in a couple different segments, but we'll work on through that. The Morano there is setting the quick time here in warm-up. As you see out there with a 16:032, Sam Bachman there in second. You got Mike Brewer there in third. And they go rolling on through off of the 2. Down here in the 3. Mike Brewer now falls back in the 4th at that 075. 75T of Trevor Giroux gets up there to be in the third fastest now within warm-up. 30 seconds to go in the warm-ups. Hopefully everybody's ready for the action here in the feature event of the big blocks here tonight. Down there along the bottom side of the racetrack, that's Trevor Giroux rolling where he can. Down there in the corner number 1. 20 seconds, 15 seconds. We're getting down here to the wire for warm-ups. 10 seconds. Oh man, the action is building. The anticipation is building here as we come down through. As warm-ups are finished, we're getting to the main event of the big block session here tonight. And as I said, if you're watching on Figure Farm TV, go ahead and check out Coast to Coast Racing Network, as that show is going to continue on, as this one will come to an end after this, as yours truly will get into the driver's seat for the Pro Late Models. So, starting grid. for the main event. Anthony Morano out front. Dean Reynolds there in second. John Morano will roll off in third. Matt Barber there in fourth. Mike Brewer in fifth. Jeff Barker, he'll roll off in sixth. Trevor Guru in seventh. Dylan Kinsey rolls off tonight in eighth with Sam Buckman in ninth. Alex Pomalu rolls off in 10th. Stephen Bixler, he's going to roll off at 11th with the 12th position going to Brian Moore is where he'll be starting. 13th, that's going to be Chase Matsko with Brody Klotz out there in 14th. Scott Riome rolling off in 15th with John Dubai in 16th. Craig Christopherson in that 051 machine. It's going to roll off in 17th with Bob DeGood in 18th. Brandon Dittmer rounding out your field in 19th position here tonight. And pay no attention to that date down there at the bottom. I haven't figured out if there's a way for me to automatically set that or not. So we're just going to delete it there for now. It is not March 20th. This is April 10th. Just realized that. Man, we're in for a night of racing here. They have not disappointed on action at all. Racing action has not been anything to displease any of us here. We got the big blocks here. We're going to go we got 30 laps to go. They hit the lap pedal. What a jump there by Dean Reynolds out there on that high line as Anthony Morano battles back down there on the inside. John Morano there in third. He's got his hands full there as Matt Barber is up there on the high side. Matt Barber really getting it to it as he's up there way up on that cushion. Coming there out of turn 3 and 4. Whoa, hang on to it there, John. You don't want to get too far as we go down here. 3 wide, 4 wide now coming off of turn number 2. Down into corner number 3 and 4. Everybody tries to slide it in there, and they do so. It's a hornet's nest back there behind the leaders as Dean Reynolds gets to lead that lap down here in the corner number 1. Anthony Morano now slides it up there in front of Dean. Dean now crosses over down into the bottom of the racetrack. Comes down into corner number 3. He'll slide it up. Anthony Morano's going to keep it up there. Now he's going to try to cross it over. Coming here out of 4. He will do so. He'll get to lead that lap as they come down here into corner number 1. John Morano, he's going to battle down there on the bottom side of the racetrack underneath the 16 of Matt Barber down the backstretch. Side by side here behind them as Trevor Guru back here in 5th. There's the 513 of Jeff Barker as they battle out here. Coming down through the backstretch. Chase Matsko back here in about 14th as they roll back off of corner number 2. Dean Reynolds ended up backing off there of Anthony Morano as they roll down here into corner number 3. Matt Barber still has company there coming up behind him from Trevor Guru. And there you see John Morano falling back down there on the inside of the racetrack as he tries to get up there to the faster line, up there towards the top. Jeff Barker, he's running that top lane now up there towards the cushion. Down here around Eldora, that is going to be the line that you're most likely going to run is going to be that top line. And if you can be out front when the race starts and start to hang on to that, that's pretty much where you want to be. As we see Anthony Morano up there in front. You got Dean Reynolds there in second, Matt Barber there in third, Trevor Guru in fourth. Matt Barker, he's running, Jeff Barker is back here in fifth. John Morano in sixth as he battles down there through the middle of the racetrack underneath that 513 down that backstretch. 23 laps to go. Dylan Kinsey back here in eighth. Alex Pomalu in ninth. Sam Bachman down there on the bottom side of the racetrack now in that 007 as they come here out of turn number 3. And 4 down here in the corner number 1. Anthony Morano still up front. Dean Reynolds there second. Matt Barber there in third. Trevor Guru back there in fourth as he's trying to battle his way up there and gain that traction to get up there towards the leaders. Jeff Barker back here in fifth with John Morano down there on the inside. He's down in front of Mike Brewer as Brewer's going to try to get the bottom side of the racetrack to work underneath of Morano. John Morano is going to be struggling there a little bit. He's just not sure which line he needs to run. And now he's got company from the 639 of Dylan Kinsey as he falls back through the field a little bit more. Here comes Matt Barber trying to run his way up there to second place as he's slowly getting up there to Dean Reynolds, who is currently holding second place down here across the stripe. 19 laps to go. Chase Matsko has crashed. Chase Matsko around here at Eldora. Now there you see it down there on the top side of the race. Oh, there's what happened. Oh boy, he didn't have much time. He really tried to check up, but you can't really hit too hard, otherwise you're going to take drivers out. That was the 75 of Steven Bixer, who was spun around there. See if we can find out where it happened to Steven here. It didn't have the caution out. Well, here we see Steve up there along the top side of the racetrack. He's coming through. He'll get up there into the fluff, up into that outside wall, and he'll just end up, it just loops him. Oh, man, there's just not enough time to react there. As that was full speed there. Man. Type night there for his first night here at the league for Chase Matsko. Get back out there on the racetrack as we're getting ready for the green flag once again. Dean Reynolds up there on the high side. He had a pretty decent start. We'll see if he can copy that here with the restart. As he's sitting there on the outside of Murano. Dean Reynolds is in second. Matt Barber down there on the inside in third as they come down through up turn number 4. Pace car gets on the pit lane, and they are down and away. Murano already away and up there back up to the top side of the racetrack. Down here through turns 1 and 2. Now, as you see, the 16 there, Matt Barber, he's working off the bottom of the racetrack, getting up there in front of the 75T of Trevor Guru. Michael Brewer, he's rolling down there in that number 39, down here in the corner number 1. As we've got a few of them already, as yellow flag is out. As we've seen some drivers having trouble. That's Scott Riome, Steven Bixer, and John Dubai. Not sure if that's where the whole caution come out, but we're going to take a look to see if that is where it took place. We got Steven Bixler back here in the 75. And it looks like it's going, oh boy, Bixler upside down. Looks like it's going to start with John Dubai. And at number 21, we'll see how it goes on here. No, it don't. It starts with somebody in front of them. That is the, see if we can figure out who that is. That is the 444 of Scott Riome. We'll see that 007 kind of get a little squirrely there as John Murano gets him squirrely, and it's just a chain reaction behind him. As the caution flag comes out for another time here. Going to most likely be a single file restart this time. Lights still on the pace machine. Well, maybe not. They look like they're going to get ready for a double file restart. They are going to go double file. Dean Reynolds there in second. Trevor Guru there in third. 18 laps to go. Off the corner, Murano gets the gas pedal in. They're down and away in the corner number 1. Everybody fighting for position behind them. As you see, Matt Barber back here in third as he's down there underneath of Dean Reynolds. He's down there on the bottom side, but that 75T of Trevor Guru, he's up there in that quicker lane, up there on the top side. And right now, that's where you want to be, as up top as you can. As I don't know if that inside lane, we're down there like with the likes of Jeff Barker. I don't know if that inside's going to work too well here, although the big blocks can get off the corner a little better. But whenever you got guys running that top line as well as these drivers do up here towards the front, I'm just not sure if it's enough. As you see, Dean Reynolds get into the wall a little bit there, coming out of 1 and 2, or through the middle of 1 and 2. You see Murano now dive down there to the bottom side. He's going to run that bottom off And back up there off the corner. He's running top, bottom right here so far in this race. At the current time with 14 laps to go here at Eldora. They got the 75T of Trevor Guru down there in fourth. Mike Brewer here in fifth. Oh boy, here comes Matt Barber once again down there on the inside. As he getting around Matt Barber. 13 laps to go for these drivers. Bob DeGood having issues back here as he's down there on the bottom side. He's got the lights of the leaders coming to him. So he better be careful. He'll give them plenty of room as they come down here through turns 1 and 2. Up there along the top side of the racetrack, Mike Brewer down there on the bottom side trying to get that to work a little bit. Ends up getting there behind Matt Barber. Matt Barber down there on the bottom side. There goes Mike Brewer up there towards the top side now as he tries to get up there in the fourth by the 75 of, or I'm sorry, the 16 of Brewer. Barber now drops it back down underneath Brewer as they come here in the corner number 3 and 4. Barber up into the outside wall. That might give a little bit. No, it don't. He's going to keep that third or fourth spot as they battle side by side. The 75T of Trevor Guru. He's looking to see if he can get around Dean Reynolds at all as they come down here in the corner number 3 and 4. He's getting down there on the bottom side. 3 FTM drivers out there in front. That's Anthony Morano, Dean Reynolds, and Trevor Guru, all running for FTM. And top 4, to be honest with, as you've got Mike Brewer there in 4th place, Matt Barber in 5th. I'm not sure who Matt Barber runs for. As the next FTM sponsored machine I see is back here in 7th. But man, what a night here for FTM in the big blocks. They got first, second, third in the books right at the moment. They come here off the corner. Everybody's slinging dirt wherever they can, trying to get moved up. There you see Dylan Kinsey. He's going to enter low, exit high up here in front of the 397 of Alex Pomerleau. There you now down there on the bottom side of the racetrack, you see that 007 of Sam Bachman as he tries to bring it on up. 3 wide there off the corner as that 513's way down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. That's the 513 of Jeff Barker, the 397 of Alex Pomerleau. And Pomerleau now gets into it with Bachman, ends up into the outside wall, has to try to gather it up, does so, but he's going to lose a little bit as Barker gets by him down there on the inside at the moment. Bachman now running up there in front of Pomerleau. Pomerleau trying to get back around, and he does. He gets around Barker. 5 laps to go as Anthony Morano's out front. Dean Reynolds there second. Trevor Guru there in third. Mike Brewer there fourth. Matt Barber there in fifth. Clayton Stropson there in sixth. Dylan Kinsey in seventh. Sam Bachman in eighth. Alex Pomerleau there in ninth. Jeff Barker back here in 10th. Rolling on down through off of the corner. Here comes the number 79 there of Dean Reynolds rolling around in second, but that 75T of Trevor Guru, it's not going anywhere. John Dubai having issues back here, along with Chase Matsko. Passion is out. See if we can see what happened here. There we'll see it. 26 down there on the bottom side. There you see the 21 of John Dubai coming up off the corner. Down here in the 3 and 4. And it looks like Matsko goes around. Oh no, and the 21 gets into him. Chase parks it. Man, this track is slick tonight. We've got to really have that throttle control here at Eldora. If we're seeing this type of action in the big blocks, I wonder what them Pro Late models are going to bring us. Dean Reynolds out there in second. Trevor Guru there in third. Clayton Stropson there fourth. They roll on down here out of the corner. Anthony Morano there in first. I believe it's going to be a single file restart here since we only have a couple laps to go. Lights are off, so yeah, single file restart here as they roll off a corner number 2 back along that back straightaway. Anthony Morano out front. Dean Reynolds there in second. Trevor Guru there in third. Clay Christopherson now up there in the fourth, but Mike Brewer fifth. There you go. Top 5 finish for FTM right now. And they come here off of corner number 3 and 4. Hitting the loud pedal there. Mike Brewer back here in about 5th position. He's got company, though, all over him as he comes storming there off of corner number 2. Here comes that 639 of Dylan Kinsey. I notice he's got that FTM there as well. Man, this seems to be a field of FTM here in the big blocks. Down here through the front straightaway. In the corner number 1. Anthony Morano up there in front. Dean Reynolds there second. Trevor Guru there third. Clay Christopherson fourth. Mike Brewer back here in fifth. Final lap as they come here off of turn number 4. As Anthony Morano comes across. Trevor Guru there, and this is third. Clay Christopherson fourth. Mike Brewer there in fifth. Matt Barber back there in 6th. Dylan Kinsey there in 7th. Alex Pomerlew back there in 8th. We'll get with our results here as Morano takes it to victory lane. Full Throttle Motorsports taking the podium. Feature results. Gonna be Anthony Morano with Dean Reynolds there in 2nd. Trevor Guru there in 3rd. Clay Christopherson there 4th. Mike Brewer in 5th. Matt Barber there in 6th. Dylan Kinsey in 7th. Alex Pomerlew there in 8th, with Jeff Barker finishing 9th. Brian Moore rounding out your top 10 with Scott Riom in 11th. Brody Plotz there in 12th. Sam Bachman there 13th. John Morano finishes tonight in 14th, with John Dubai there in 15th. Chase Matsko there 16th. Bob the Good in 17th. Back behind that, in 18th, that's going to be Steven Bixler with Brandon Dittmer finishing tonight in 19th. That is your finishing order here. Let's get with those interviews before we get going with the Pro Late Models. Good evening there, Trevor. How's it going?
Good, yourself?
It's going pretty well. I'm glad we got to finish this whole race, unlike the first one, but you had a great run out there running in 3rd place, and looks like you and your teammates did a great job at getting them cars down in, as it looked like there was 5 Full Throttle Motorsports cars up there in the top 5.
Yeah, I think we swept the top 5 tonight, which is pretty awesome. It's that's pretty cool to do. I'm pumped for the guys.
Well, you took 3rd, so you have to be feeling pretty good about that, considering the competition all around you.
Yeah, kind of buried myself there in qualifying and didn't really get a good finish in the heat, so I knew I had my work cut out for me. But car felt good. Started on the bottom and was making some moves, and once I saw an opening, just moved to the top, and I knew that's where everyone was going to be. So battled it out with Matt there for a while. Good race to him. And yeah, this car was pretty quick. It's tough to run the top. When you got a little more power in these big blocks, it's tough to stay out of that wall when you're running the top, especially when it gets pretty thin. But definitely happy with another podium.
Well, it's always great to have podium finishes, that's for sure, especially when you go out to stiff competition as we do here at Coast to Coast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who's your sponsors and shout-outs here tonight for getting you in that 3rd place?
First and foremost, I want to give a shout-out to everybody at FTM Full Throttle Motorsports. I'm really happy to be a part of this group. It's a great group of guys, and I appreciate every single one of them for welcoming me in. I couldn't be happier to be in the position I'm in right now, and it's a really good group of guys here. So thanks to everyone at FTM. I'm glad we put on a good show tonight for everybody. Shout out to Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, Shaggy TV, Swan Speed Shop, everybody on this car. Appreciate every single one of you. I'm sure there's more I'm missing, but appreciate everybody for doing this, and just want to give a quick shout out to Kelly Wheeler. He's got a family member who's not doing so well right now, so just want Kelly to know that I'm thinking about him and keeping him in my thoughts and prayers. Wishing for the best for him.
Alrighty, well, we definitely will keep him in our thoughts and prayers here at Flager Farm TV, and I'm sure as well as the Coast to Coast Racing Network here. Congrats on 3rd place tonight, and hopefully will we see you in the Pro Late Models?
Yes, absolutely.
Alrighty, well, you'll see me down on track tonight. We'll see how well we do.
Sounds good, man. See you there. Thank you.
All right, that was Trevor finishing third tonight. Dean Reynolds, how's it going?
What's going on, Adam? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Now that my internet seems to have stabilized. I don't know what was up during that first race tonight, but we got it fixed. We're running, and we're doing good. You had a great run here, though, in this feature there, but unfortunately didn't quite have enough to get by your teammate there, Anthony Morano.
No, and for me to get by Anthony when he's on, he's just got to make a mistake. And, we were trading sliders early, and I'm like, you know what? It's lap 2. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I can't trade sliders all race. So I just said I'm going to stay behind him and hopefully stay close enough to, if he makes a mistake in the wall or something, I can get by him and hold him off. But, I think actually that's probably the third best car tonight in the big blocks. I think Trevor's a little bit faster than me, too. But, Eldora is tough. It can get one lane dominant up top. And although I heard Clay was making some moves down on the bottom, but had a good run. I'm happy with it. Anytime you get a podium amongst your teammates, that's really cool.
Yeah, you definitely had. Clay definitely did a great run as he was up 13 spots from where he started. So he must have found something somewhere.
Clay is probably the best to come through traffic. He can put the car where no one else is and take advantage of that and really move up. And, shows how good of a talent he is.
Well, he come up 13 spots to finish fourth amongst you guys up there in the top 5. So great run there by all you guys there tonight for FTM.
Yeah, no, we have a good bunch of guys. They're a lot of fun. And, some of us race a little bit more than others. But, we're all getting together. And, we like to welcome Trevor Giroux to our team. We signed him on last week. So, it's been a great addition, a lot of fun. And but, we pride ourselves on, yes, we want to win. We want to be fast. And we try to be as clean as we can. We all make mistakes. We all do. Everyone does. But, it looked like these 2 races were very clean. I think we had 3 yellows in the first one and 2 in the second one. So when you get a full field of cars and only have those few yellows, everyone did everything right.
Yeah, it was a lot of great racing action tonight between all the big block, all the modified racing here tonight. So we'll see how the Pro Late models go.
Yeah, and I think they'll go well as well too, because Pro Late models will be fun here at Eldora. But it's good to see the big block numbers up. We're getting ready to do a Super Dirt Modified week here in May, and I got the flyer done. I'm going to start soliciting that, and hopefully we can get a lot of people to run that event too for Honor House for charity. And I think the modifieds are becoming a mainstay here in Coast to Coast along with the sprint cars.
Oh, that's great to hear. And you got any other sponsors or shout-outs you want to thank for getting up there in second place?
Oh, yeah, always the Full Throttle Motorsports guys. Got to thank them. Got to thank, my employers, Super Dirt Car Series, World of Outlaws, and Dirt Vision for, let me have a job so I can afford to do a little bit of this on my spare time. And Adam, thank you and Flieger Farm Management for doing the broadcast, so our families and friends can watch us at home. And, we really appreciate that. And thanks Coast to Coast for helping out, but with the giving us a place to race too. I mean, there's a lot of Jack Hitt and Jeff Barker behind the scenes, are doing the ship now, and they're really getting their bearings together and doing a great job, and proud to be part of that. And got to thank a lot of other people like DJ Sim Shop, Swan Speed Shop, Expert Installations. There's a lot of people that help FTM out as well to keep us coming to the racetrack.
All righty, well, congrats on second place, and we'll see you in the Pro Lates.
All right, Adam. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, out with Dean Reynolds. Now we'll get with Anthony Morano, our winner here in Victory Lane. Good evening there, Anthony. How's it going?
Hey, Mr. Flieger. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I know I'm getting hyped up for the Pro Late models that are following us after seeing all the action that's taking place so far tonight.
Yeah, it's looking like we're getting a pretty good car count in here, too, so that's going to be awesome.
Well, we look forward to that, but congrats on getting the victory here in the big blocks. I know you and your father, and I forget who the third guy was that was really battling out there in Heat 1 of the big blocks tonight, but come out here in the feature and put down a show and pretty much just kept it out front the whole way.
Yeah, I was Mike Brewer down there peeking his nose under. I kept seeing him down there. Every time I'd look left, I'd just see his door. I'm like, oh, crap. No, Papa Duke's running a pretty good heat race there. He's I was saying in Discord, it was like Daytona or Talladega. He was just the leader, and the two cars just kept blocking the lines and taking the air. So it was really really hard to pass there. I just stuck my car in a spot there. I don't think he was expecting me to be at his right rear, and little contact, but that'll happen. So hopefully he doesn't get too mad about it. But it wasn't nothing intentional, just a racing deal. So. But yeah, car was good all night. I got a lot of laps here running with like the late models and stuff for like the spring fling this past year. So see how we do here in the pros, and should be pretty good.
Alrighty, well, who's your shout outs and sponsors you want to make sure get recognized for helping you get victory position here tonight?
I got like my wife Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Super Rare Car, Swan Speed Shop, I'm on Lens, DJ Sim Shop, Vertex Graphics, Expert Installation, Shaggy TV. Adam, you for coming out here and doing a broadcast for us and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Alrighty, well, congrats on that victory here as we get set and ready for the Pro Late Models.
All right, thanks a lot, Adam.
Well, that was Anthony Morano, our winner here. Now we'll go and get ready for the Pro Lates. Good evening, Shaggy. How's it going?
Oh, could be better, Adam. I did find my warranty for my wheelbase, though. But, man, I was excited to race for you tonight. There at the end of warm-ups of the mods, my wheel decided to shut off on me mid-warm-ups. That was no fun.
Well, you had a pretty decent run going there in the 358s until that happened.
Yeah, just bouncing around a little bit in the heat races. I don't want to, push anybody out that's running for points. So I kind of just fell to the back, made sure I got in the show. But I was up there on the warm-up times. I felt like I had a good race car, and then all of a sudden my wheelbase told me, hey, you're not going to race tonight. You're just going to sit up in the booth.
Yeah, unfortunately, technical issues like that can happen.
Yeah, it never happens at a good time either, it doesn't seem like. But, hey, when
does it ever?
Yeah. No kidding.
When does it ever happen at a good time? But we look forward to getting into the Pro Late Models here tonight and seeing how well they can pack this track with action. As they've had quite a bit of action so far tonight. I mean, we've grown 3 wide, 4 wide in the 358s. We're going 3 wide in the rig blocks. I mean, there's just action all over the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely one of those tracks that, kind of wears different every time you're here. It can promote some train racing, but at the same time, you can open up the bottom lane, especially through 3 and 4, and see guys really go for some big sends. So here with the late models, only have 12 guys right now, but it still should be a pretty good one here.
Well, it's going to be fun nonetheless. That just means I'm making the show.
Yeah, that's got to be the attitude. It just means you're going to make the feature.
So, already, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get ready for that 358. I mean, not 358, the Pro Late Models.
Yeah, almost ready on my end. I am typing it in as we speak, Adam. Sorry, so keep it open for just another second or two, and we'll be good to go.
Alrighty, like I said, we're pretty excited to get ready for the Pro Late Models.
Alrighty, I am good now on my end, Adam.
Alrighty, you want to give
it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight when we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Boy, oh boy, we are back for part 3 of Thursday Night Thunder here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, ready to bring you the Shaggy TV Pro Late Models at the one and only Eldora Speedway. Man, I love this place. Wanted to race with these guys. You heard me whine earlier, though. My wheelbase decided to take a crap on me, and man, if you buy Moza, make sure you buy that freaking warranty they offer, because $30 just saved me a lot of time, I think. Hopefully I can go down to Micro Center tomorrow, just swap it out, bring home another one. But probably not going to go that easy, I don't think. But may go a little easier tonight here for the 75. Trevor Giroux, pretty quick at the top of the charts right now, the 075. Always looks good at Eldora. I believe he just podiumed there in the big blocks. I was kind of in my own world. Trying to hunt through boxes to find that warranty. She was found, and now, much better mood as Anthony Morano drives through 4. Let's see here where our still cameras are here tonight. We have the static camera, though. Did I? Yes, I. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we do. No, we don't. Because it's just going to stay there, I think. What is going on? Now it's going to change? Okay. All right. Timeout. I think I may know the problem. No, it's enabled there. Not too sure. Well, we're not gonna be using that camera tonight here. That needs edited a little bit, I think. Got our nice sponsor camera though. Zoomed in, trying to look at these nice paint jobs. As the checkered flag waves, and we get ready to go into qualifying here for your pro late models. If you're out there watching, let us know who you're rooting for. I know, as always, got some Brewer fans out there here tonight. We got $100,000 on the racetrack. Let's go take a look here. Find the 518 rolling down the backstretch. Joseph Grandy always quick every time he's out here on the racetrack. There's no doubt about it. Got to keep an eye on that 518. We'll have to see. He rolls the middle here through 1 and 2. We'll throw that slider line here in 3 and 4. Must have really liked 1 and 2 because this will be the money lap. He won't have as much speed coming to the line this time as he did the last time. And it is good. A 15.52 is Chase Matsko right now. He's parked P2. Make it P3 as the Barber. Now Jeff Barker, the Brewerton Beast, at the top of the charts. The 513, he's hungry. Looking good here in qualifying. Jeff Barker right now is your quick time in the 513. Couple guys still maybe something to say about it here. Here's one of them. Driver of the 390, you know him well. Mike Brewer here. What can he do? Maybe not as low there as you'd like on entry. You see he kind of stayed in the middle through 3 and 4. You kind of want to slide it up. What do I know? Quick time for the 390. What do I know? He had his own line there. He created his own thing through 3 and 4. Welcome to the top of the charts, Mike Brewer. Mike not screwing around here tonight in that 390 machine. Quick time for Mike Brewer, and that's going to be it for qualifying here at the Eldora Speedway. So we'll sit around, chill here till we get ready to roll into heat race number 1. Let's take a look at that starting grid here. Sorry, I had my mic software down, so I didn't talk for a while. It had, of course, had a little update, as everything does when I forget things. But rounding out the field here, heat race number 1, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey, row 3 to the outside. The Philly Flyer, Trevor Gearix to the inside, the 26 of Chase Matsko. Row 2 to the outside, the 390 of Mike Brewer to the inside, the Barber in the 16, Matt Barber. Row number 1 for heat race number 1 to the outside, the 007 of Sam Bachman, and starting on the pole, the 444 of Scott Rayone. So let's see here. I think we were doing 2 pace laps, so I don't think they'll shorten this on me. You see him resetting the overlay here. So no, another racetrack here where we got to do the 2 opener laps here. Roll around for the final time. Teammates on the front row. Another one there on the outside of row 2. So Mike Brewer going to have to see if he can hook up with those FTM teammates. If he can get something going here with the boys as we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time. The Steve King Foundation pace truck will dive off, and the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. We've got 8 laps to play in the Clay at Eldora Speedway. We're underway. That is not the correct button. There we go. That's the correct button. Apparently TV3 is not going to work for me here tonight, but they're 3 wide for the lead. It's working for the Barber down low. What can he do? Trying to make the move here. Not going to work. Oh, maybe going to work. No. There we go. Scotty gave him some room, but the Barber tightened up. That looked like it was going to be nasty here as he's trying to trim his way down low. 6 laps to go. Making a big move here in 1. Scotty's got to try to get that run off the top here, really carry the steam. He does. Gonna hold on to it for now. He's got 2 teammates here coming up behind trying to mix it up. Oh, there we go. 3 wide for P2. The Barber's got it on entry. Give it to Morano right now. Maybe Brewer. They're side by side. 3 wide. Scotty loving what he sees here off the deck lid. Let's take a look for ourselves. As Anthony so close here, the Barber just losing speed down there on the bottom, and now Mike Brewer trying to take over that spot on the bottom, see if he can make it work. He's not having any more luck. And now, look at the 075, the Philly Flyer, hiking his way into this thing. Rubbing. We're 3 wide, now we're 4 wide. Giroux on the bottom. Sam really paying the price there. The 007 had to back out of that. Now new leader Mike Brewer with 2 laps to go through 3 and 4. We're going to see the white flag fly. This time by, it's anybody's guess for that. Well, I should say 4th and final transfer spot, but it's not the final. Everyone's making the show. So I can't play that angle here. You guys don't want to lie to you, but Mike Brewer final time for 3 and 4. He sees the checkered flag waving. He brings it home. Scotty P2, the Barber 3rd. Giroux 4th. Bachman 5th. Kinsey 6th. And Matsko bringing home 7th. You take a look at the starting grid here for your 2nd and final heat race. Rounding out the field, Adam Flieger in the 38. Row 3 to the outside, the Mayor in the 75. Steve Bixler to the inside, the 196 of Brody Plotz. Row 2 to the top shelf, the Brewerton Beast. Jeff Barker to the inside, the 21 of Blackjack John Tobias. Row number 1 for heat race number 2 to the outside, the 32 of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. And starting on the pole, the 518 of $100,000, Joseph Grandy. This field paces around here. We get ready to go play. It's going to have to be nice with each other here. Well, now the TV still camera wants to work. Now I'm tempted. I've got to let it here to roll around. Okay, see, now it's not changing. Oh, no, there it did, but this isn't a still camera. It doesn't look like one to me. Rotating, so this could, now all of a sudden we go into a still camera. Okay. Gonna freeze right there. I don't like it. No bueno. Final time through 3 and 4 here. The Steve King Foundation pace truck getting set to pull off. Joseph Grandy getting ready to drop the hammer. And we're underway. We've got 8 to play in heat race number 2. Oh, Morano gets a little contact there with Blackjack. He goes around. Tough break for the 32, able to keep rolling. He's going to lose a lot of spots, and now that Cody set up shop 21. Going to stick there in 3rd place, but the real payoff there was for the 513, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Started 4th, up to 2nd. Now can he go to work here? Can he run down that 518 of 100 grand, Joseph Grandy? Barrel down the backstretch here. The 513 inching closer. Is that, man, what is going on with these cameras here? My apologies, they're not labeled right. I'm having to remember them. As Brody plots there in the 96, making it work, but the 75, the mare with a big run on that top shelf. He's looking to hold on to P4. That'll be up 2 spots for him. He's starting 6th. Good run there for the 75. Mare's really putting some laps together here as Joseph Grandy just ran the fastest lap of the race. 15.53 with 3 laps to go. Barker losing him by about a 1/10 or so every lap, but firmly in 2nd place, as you see. Trying to do it a little different here as we run on the nose of the 513. Grandy up top. Jeff just flirting with what works for him down low. Maybe the speed isn't there right now, but it wouldn't be surprising to maybe see that inside work a little later in the feature. But white flag in the air here. Joseph Grandy's got 1 more lap around the Eldora Speedway before he gets to stake his claim on the outside of the front row for tonight's feature. Final time through 4. Grandy brings home the checkered flag. Barker, P2, Tobias, Flieger, Bixler, Morano, and Plotz. It's a good run there for Adam. Started in the back, finished 4th, up 3 spots there for the 38 as we take a short break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we'll be right back with your Shaggy TV Pro Late Model A-Main. Stick around. We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and well, I just realized this was set for 5 minutes. I don't think they did that on purpose, so they may advance it here, or they may let it go. Who knows? Not too sure here, but maybe look for it to get advanced right now. There we go. Checkered flag waves. Wasn't too sure what we were gonna do here, but gonna stick with the plan here. 3-minute warm up, and you know what that means. We're gonna shut down the leaderboard and wait for this starting lineup to pop up so we can take a look at your Shaggy TV Pro Late Model starting lineup. Let's see here. 14 drivers take the grid. Let's take a look at it here. Rounding out the field, row 7 to the outside, the 196 of Brody Plotz. To the inside, the 26 of Chase Matsko. Row 6 to the outside, the Ant-Man in the 32, Anthony Morano. To the inside, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. Row 5 to the outside, the 75 of the Mayor, Steve Bixler. To the inside, the 007 of Sam Bachman. Row 4 to the outside, the 38 of Adam Flieger. To the inside, the 075 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Row 3 to the outside, the 21 of Blackjack, John DeBias. To the inside, the 16 of the Barber, Matt Barber. Row 2 to the outside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeb Barker. To the inside, the 444 of Scott Rayo. Row 1 for Heat Race, or for your Shaggy TV Pro Late Model feature. Get it together here. Starting on the outside, the 518 of 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. And starting on the pole, the 390 of Mike Brewer. Let's see here as we get ready to go play in the clay at the Eldora Speedway. 30 laps stand between you and a checkered flag. Who is going to bring it home? The Steve King Foundation pace truck dives off. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. We've got 30 laps, and look at the fireworks go. Brewer's early slide job to hold on to this lead. Can Grandy maybe counter underneath here? Take a peek to the inside. He's sure going to try. 3 wide. Scott Rayo trying to snip from the bottom. Can't find the run open here. Comes 100 grand. Big move. He takes the lead here. Lap number 2. Brewer trying to swing for the fences here. He's coming back low through 3 and 4. We've got a battle for the lead. We've got a battle for second. We got a battle for racing all over 2 by 2 by 2. Slide job, crossover. Grandy back to the inside. Can 100 grand hold on? He gets the slide job. Slides up in front of the 390. And now Brewer, he's got to lick the rules here. Trying to go back to work, but he's got a new teammate on the inside. That 075 of the Philly Flyer. Here he comes, Trevor Giroux, trying to make it work here on the inside. Side by side between him and Brewer. He's even making up a little bit of time there on the bottom through 1 and 2. Look at him, pulling ahead here. Brewer trying to dive it in, trying to hold that left rear. But right now, man, Trevor making that bottom work, and I didn't think we'd see it work well through 1 and 2. But surprisingly, that's where he's making the money. And he can go up here, he can slide, he can complete the pass if he wants. But he's going to stay down low through 3 and 4. And, you know, Trevor, if you get the chance again, if you're listening, get upstairs through 3 and 4, because this 075 is quick and he came to play. But man, oh man, Sam Bachman here. He's trying to find a way around the Barber map. Barber on the top shelf there, 3 wide behind. We've got Flieger on the outside trying to roll that 38. Got a lot of speed right now, but he's stuck behind that 639. Kinsey able to get up there and shut the door. And Flieger with a lot of speed off before, but being smart on that loud pedal. A lot of lift in here, trying to make sure, you know, you can live to race another day. But fastest lap of the race last night by, yeah, man, Anthony Morano. He is ready to go to 32. Trying to come up here and flirt with his teammate, get to the outside for fourth. He does just that, Rayo. Not putting up much of a fight, but back here, the top three, we've got 10 in the books, 20 to go. And they're running just the way they basically have here in those opening 5. I mean, Trevor did not start third by any means, up 4 spots early. Anthony behind in fourth, up 8 spots. So we have had guys on the move, but Trevor, as soon as he got to third, is kind of stalled out, was trying to work on getting by his teammate. Just hasn't been able to, hasn't had that success. And right now, Grandy leading the way here, 18 laps to go. Let's go find this battle here. We got Sam Bachman all over the back of the 16, who has reeled in the fourth, Scott Rayo. So Sam has a chance to get a little 2-for-1 action here at the Eldora Speedway. Not going to be easy, not going to have to be aggressive. That's something the 007 maybe not that comfortable with. He's not very aggressive. And then as I say that, look at him. Big set, that's what you need to do. Come on, Sammy boy. Make it stick. He's side by side at the line. Going to go back downstairs through 1 and 2. Able to complete the pass. The Barber goes back underneath, and we got a little slider battle. Oh, the Barber trying to trim his way up in front of the 007. Couldn't do it. Sam Bachman maintains momentum. Takes over P6 and back towards the top here, where it's becoming a 4-car race. Anthony Morano has seen that gap really close down. In the end, man, he's watching a battle in front. Billy Flyer looks under the 390. Brewer may have got the wall a little bit. Coming off before, that was all Trevor needed to take a little peek. Brewer back with the slide job. They're going to be side by side at the line. I think we're going to give this one to Trevor here. Yeah, you know, you just want that slider line through 1 and 2. Going to be able to hold on the pass now without a caution flag. Brewer maybe going to lose 2 spots this lap as he's got the end man on the inside. Oh, that's going to be close at the line. Anthony Morano knows he can't waste time here. He's got a quick race car. Oh, caution flag flies, and we're going to see who had it there at the line for third. I can't go look at this caution yet until I see where these guys settle. So Mike Brewer did have it at the line, but just barely. And the caution, Blackjack here in the 21, and I think got a car pulling out on the racetrack, is coming to a stop. And yeah, did the right thing there, but definitely you don't want to go out around the cones there. Just sit behind them, let the field clear out. Man, we had a flag race going on there. Tough break here for your leader, Joseph Grandy. That is not what he wanted, man. You know, you want those guys to continue racing behind you, not, you know, possibly get a good jump on you, steal one that way. If you're the 518, when you see how that one played out, you're maybe not the happiest camper, but at the end of the day, racing's racing. You do what you got to do. You're not always going to get dealt the best hand. 100 grand still out front. Can he hold on here when we get the green flag? Should have 11 laps to go. Joseph Grandy needs to get that Matt Julisse speed 518 up to that top shelf, I think, here. He wants to restart on the bottom. Might still be a lot of grip left down there. Let's see. The green flag waves. We're back underway. We got 11 to play here at the Eldora Speedway. Brewer trying to come get the elbows out here, but he's going to get stuck down low, and this is what I was talking about. Oh, the shark, smells blood in the water. Gearix to the inside, and that opens the door for the Ant-Man. Slide job for the lead. Trevor completes the pass, but we're going to have a battle through 3 and 4. 9 laps to play this time by, and we're 3 wide for the lead coming off of 4. Trevor Giroux, he's got the speed. Can he complete it? The 518 loses a little traction cutting underneath, but he's got enough slide job back and forth, back and forth. Oh. Caution flag flies for the second time here. Dylan Kinsey. Let's see what happened here. We had already kind of missed it. You see Scott Rayome, he throws a slider up in front of Sam in just a checkup lane. And there the 75 gets into Flieger, who goes up in the wall hard, and Dylan Kinsey with nowhere to go. Lots of debris laying there in the racetrack, and, well, we weren't going to get a caution there, I don't think. We actually didn't get one until I think the admins threw one. So, tough break there. It stinks, though, for Dylan. You know, I get wanting to sit there to bring out the caution, but at that point, when you see the leaders coming, you want to disconnect because you're going to go a lap down anyways. Not going to be able to get that lap back. And oh, that's Scott Rayome. Ended up getting a piece of that. Couldn't tell who that was live. Scotty, man, he's going to get some damage out of that. Now Trevor, he's got to figure out what to do here. I mean, that's now his chance. Maybe that's the break the 518 deserved after being out front. You know, that first caution coming out that way. Now he gets a chance. Single file restart. Doesn't have to worry about a guy maybe getting a better jump on the inside or outside. Just worry about yourself here. Get this thing rolling and see if he can control the pace here. We're going to have 8 laps to go as the Steve King Foundation pace car dives off. Grandy drops the hammer. We're back underway. And what's going to happen here up front for the 518 of Joseph Grandy? Has led the majority of the race, but has felt the heat here as of late from the 75 and the 32. 2 new teammates are grooving well together right here, but they've got to try work a little some of that team voodoo here, maybe string some bad luck at that 518, because as we roll through 3 and 4, we've only got 6 laps to go. Top 3 right in line, man. And oh, the Ant-Man, he gets into the outside wall pretty good. Trevor, does this breathe some life into him? Yes, now he can maybe go for a move. He's got some distance between him and his teammate. Grandy gets in that outside wall, maybe helps him out a little bit even. And now the Ant-Man, oh, he throws a slide job on his teammate. These guys racing hard for P2. Oh, they're going to let Grandy tug that leash and get out of the ballpark here. Only 3 laps to go. Walking a thin line here for your teammates. You got 4 FTM guys, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But none of them on that top spot where they want to be. And Trevor now, he's saying, Anthony, I'm quick, brother. I'm quick. I'm telling you, I was just trying to make a move. He's going to go back to the inside, and all this going on behind the 518 here as we roll through 3 and 4. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go for Grandy. Slide job for the lead. Anthony Morano with a big send absolutely out of nowhere. Side by side down the backstretch. Grandy gonna try to feed him a little dinner here. Shows him the rear end. Grandy gets it at the line. Joseph Grandy holds on in the Big E. Anthony Morano 2nd. And my man, Trevor Gearix, rounding out the podium. Holy what a finish. What an absolute finish. Let's watch this How did Anthony get this run? He just came out of nowhere here coming off the floor. Big slide job. Grandy read him like a book. Cuts to the inside. Grip perfectly slow, short slider here. To make sure, you're cutting away all that momentum that he can't go underneath you. You say you're going to go up in the wall or you're going to get in those brakes. And Anthony maybe having to do a little bit of both there as Grandy holds him off at the line. And Giroux, man, with a close P3. Those are the finishes we've come to expect here with the boys at Coast to Coast. Another good one. And we're going to see if we can't find the correct camera and maybe bring the driver of this 075 up to the booth whenever I put myself in the right Discord, correct Discord. There is the driver of the 075, Trevor Giroux. Man, oh man, you got to play nice. That's your teammate now. But man, you had a quick race car. You try to make that move, and Anthony capitalized and stole that from you. And man, oh man, you were trying to come back, but just running out of time. How much fun did you have out there tonight, Trevor?
Oh man, that was a blast. I mean, this car was on rails, let me tell you. This car was fast. Felt really comfortable on the top. That was the key. I mean, a little bit of a slider in 3 and 4, that was key. It was if you could just float that right rear up into the cushion and hammer down coming out of 4, man, you got such a good run. And Joseph and Anthony were doing a great job of doing that as well. And man, I'm sweating. That was a hell of a race. That was some of the most fun I've had in a while here. Props to Grandy, man. I felt fast, man. I felt like I had something for him, but man, he's just hard to beat. He's very, very fast.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, Trevor, actually. It's one of those coulda, woulda, shoulda deals, but man, if we don't get that last caution, you think you can sneak around him because, boy, you were really applying the pressure. And I think the best thing about it was you had Anthony behind you, so he couldn't really, counter back to any of those sliders you were throwing. It looked like you maybe had the best hand there until the yellow flag flew.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. It would have been one hell of a slider battle to the end, that's for sure. I told the boys in the Discord there, I'm a little desperate right now for my first FTM win, but yeah, I'm not, obviously wouldn't wreck anyone or do anyone dirty to get it, but I would have definitely threw some bombs at him, and it would have been a hell of a finish. But props to Grandy, man. I love racing with him, especially in these things. It's a blast. He's a great dude, great driver, and yeah, man, it's three podiums here tonight for me, so I couldn't ask for a better night here.
No, and I'd tell you to shut up if you started whining about it anyway, because that's a heck of a night here at Eldora, man. Coming away with 3 podiums. Congratulations, Trevor, man. Who you want to thank, brother?
Yeah, man, just I was a little nervous coming in here. I just want to do good for the team here. So, but first and foremost, just shout out to all the guys at FTM. I'm really thankful to be a part of this team, and with such a great group of guys that I've known for so long, especially Anthony. It's I walked in here and it felt like I've known these guys forever. No shyness, nothing like that. Just walked into a good group of fellas, so I appreciate them welcoming me in with open arms. Shout out Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, Swan Speed Shop, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, LDS, RSN Trackside, everyone on this car who makes this stuff happen. I appreciate every single one of you. Props to Anthony here for getting second, and again, Grandy on the win. It was a hell of a race. I mentioned it in the last interview there, but I got to give him another shout out. Just want to give Kelly Wheeler a shout out there. He's got a family member who's not doing too good, and I like Kelly. I love racing with him. He's a great guy. So just want him to know that I'm keeping him in my thoughts and prayers. And
yeah, mother-in-law and father-in-law, I believe. I saw that as well too, Kelly. We're thinking of you, man. Hopefully everything goes okay. That's never fun, dude. Thoughts and prayers with you for sure.
100%. And, of course, Shaggy, shout out to you and everyone at C2C. Go check out Shaggy TV, people. I love you, Shaggy. Thanks for everything you do, man.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate these good shows, dude. You guys really poured it on there at the end, and you made it exciting for me. So, hell of a run, dude. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thanks, man.
It's a P3 finisher there, the 075, Trevor Giroux. Now we're going to bring up his teammate here, Anthony Morano. Anthony, man, you saw Trevor throw that move down low. You snookered around him on the high side, but boy, you just ran out of time, man. You finally get there. I'll tell you, you can hear it in my voice. With 2 to go, you had about, I want to say, 4/10, something like that. We know in dirt racing, okay? Is that a lifetime? No, but it's a good bit. And I thought for sure, man, you bit the dust. You were done. Just going to hold on to P2. And then huge slider through 1 and 2, man. How did you get that run off of 4 coming to the white flag? That was big time.
I just kept the right rear in a fluff and my foot to the floor. And I knew the slider was like a last-ditch effort, but last lap, it's kind of what you got to do. So try to making it so Grandy would have to break his momentum a little bit coming out of 2, and it worked a little bit, but he had the line going into 3, and all I can do was try to keep my nose on his right rear and make it so his car would get uncomfortable and tighten us both up, and hopefully he would have to check up, and then if that would have happened, then maybe I get a little lucky and beat him back to the throttle after he got straightened out. But no, I mean, Grandy definitely he did everything he had to do. That was the right play for him. Definitely make your car as wide as possible that last corner, and nailed it. So hell of a race though, man. That was fun. I feel real bad about in the heat race, so I came down on John Tobias. I kind of took myself out by running him over like that. It was kind of a stupid move, but just trying to be aggressive early and kind of paid the price for it. So just worked my tail off all feature long coming from the back. So but it was a lot of fun at least.
Yeah, man, it sure looked like a lot of fun, but, I mean, obviously racing, full of coulda, woulda, shouldas. I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked Trevor. Before that last caution came out, Anthony, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. You and Trevor were in a good spot. All over the back of the 518. I mean, Trevor was inside of him. Do you think that was maybe the best shot for the teammates to get around him, and then you guys could go play a little bit? Because obviously, I mean, you said it there. Does a good job of making that thing wide. That's what you're supposed to do at the end. But it looked like maybe the quickest 2 cars of this race finished 2nd and 3rd.
I don't know. I mean, Grandy's no slouch in these things at all. I'm actually been racing a lot with Joseph and wingless 410s and did everything else, UMPs and supers. So been quite busy running with him with different things. So learning a lot with him as we're going along. So definitely I think maybe me and Trevor had a little more practice here with the spring thing last year. So I think that might have been a big thing, but I'm sure the season as it goes on is going to be pretty intense between what FTM has to bring, and then you have Grandy out there, and so we'll see what happens, and hopefully we get like Templeton back and Schatzer and those guys come back and run these, and hopefully get some more guys in here and really get this car count up a bit more.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I always forget about Superman. This would have been a perfect track to have the cape flapping in. We got to get Schatzer back out here. But, Anthony, I can't remember. I know, obviously, good race there in the big blocks. But when my wheel crapped out on me, how'd we do in the small blocks? Is this a triple podium night?
Oh, no. I went through the B main and the friggin' 358s. And
I was there with you. I remember.
Yeah. I couldn't get going forward there, and I couldn't get going forward in the feature. I think I finished like 14th or something. So not a pretty night in the 358 division, but big blocks, I think doing pretty solid there. So we'll just keep plugging away, and hopefully at least get 2 out of 3, or see get the team to sweep. Kelly's got the 358 points lead right now. He's on fire this season, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, hats off to Kelly, man. He's a good dude, been running his ass off.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations to him so far. And I know, Trevor had mentioned it. He's going through some tough stuff here with his father-in-law and mother-in-law. So wishing the best with that. But, Anthony, congratulations, man, on the big P2, dude. Who you want to thank before we kick you out of here and bring up the man?
I gotta thank my wife Sherry, the boys over there at FTM, Super Dirt Car, Swan Speed Shop, Hi Mom Lens, DJ Sim Shop, Vertex Graphics, Expert Installation, Casper Flagstone, Shaggy TV. Shaggy for doing sponsoring the Pro Late models and doing a broadcast for us here, and all the guys there coast to coast are keeping this league going.
Well, hey, hell of a job, Anthony. You're part of the reason I volunteered to do this for sure, man. Great racing. Definitely helps build up that brand. So I appreciate it. You guys put on a hell of a show tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Let me go ahead. Let me bring up the man of the hour here. Made him wait long enough. $100,000. I'll tell you what, man. Another race where you're out front. You got a good pace. They're battling hard as hell behind you. And, well, you know, it stinks. Sometimes it happens, but car pulls out of the pits, stops on the racetrack. That is our first caution. And all of a sudden after that, man, you just had the field right behind you. And it seemed like, you know, you just couldn't get away from them. But you did enough to hold on. How'd the race car feel?
Felt good, you know. I figured the caution was going to come eventually, no matter if I had to see one or not. I knew I could have probably done something different in 3 and 4, but honestly, I was so comfortable doing what I was doing and hoping it, I hung in there. I did. The slider was a little closer than I wanted to with Murano, but, you know, sometimes you misjudge things.
Oh, dude, that don't you dare. Christ. He came out of nowhere with that slide job. That's what I was going to ask you. How surprised were you with his in 1 and 1 and 2? But, dude, in 3 and 4, oh, my gosh. You did that lighter than probably 80% of the guys in here would have. After leading that whole thing, you did what you had to do, man. You got to make that thing wide. But were you surprised that he got that big run there with 1 to go? Because when you go back and listen to this thing, Grandy, with 2 to go, I thought this was 1,000% your race. And then with 1 to go, I mean, he was shot out of a cannon out of 4. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I spun my tires coming out of 4. That's how that happened. So I knew he was going to have a run into a slider.
You probably had a sense of it then. That's why you could kind of predict it so well, because it seemed like, man, you were ready for it. That was my next question.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I spun my tires, I knew he was going to have a run on me. So figured he threw a bigger slider than he needed to. So Brokers will met them a little more than it should have, and just cut under him.
Well, I mean, that experience pays off. I know you guys have been racing each other a lot, man. You've been having the upper hand here as of late. I know the first couple weeks didn't go your way here, but these last couple weeks, man, no matter what league I'm seeing you racing, this 518 has been on fire, and you've been fun as hell to watch, Joe. So congratulations on another big win, man. Who you want to thank?
Coast to Coast Sim Sports, Julice Speed Shop, girlfriend Olivia, all the FTM guys. I mean, I'm battling one of them somewhere in the race, whether it's in the back or the front, it feels like.
Yes, you are. They're everywhere now, man, especially since they added Trevor, those freaking jerks.
Yeah, absolutely. All the guys in Coast to Coast, and you, man, for doing the broadcast.
Well, hey, man, I love those FTM guys, but I love when you go over there on Sundays and stick it to them. So I'll be rooting for you Sunday. Go get them, Joe.
All right, man, thanks.
That's $100,000. Joseph Grandy bringing home the checkered flag here in the Shaggy TV Pro Late models. And that's going to do it here for your Thursday Night Thunder in the Coast to Coast Racing League. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. This was a good nightcap here. So hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed it. And we're going to be right back here next Monday night. My man Marty Sakala going to be in the booth here for Monday Night Madness. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't miss a show. I'm Zach chatting with Shaggy TV saying good night and have a good evening.